Hello, hello, hello. Oh, dearie me. Whew. I'm still recovering from the end of the stream last night. Did you see the Doctor Who Unleashed? I haven't seen the Unleashed. I've seen the bit with Neil Patrick Harris. Thank you for checking out my reaction, by the way. But I've seen the bit with Neil Patrick Harris talking about it. But I think that's the only one I've seen. That and Shooty talking about his new Sonic, which is an insane design. But I have not seen the Unleashed. No. I probably will do tomorrow morning. But like, I had to go from literally straight from editing the reaction to the Giggle into trying to edit my reaction to the Good Place episode 11 from season 1. So like, I literally, it's a Sunday and I've spent the whole day editing and I still haven't finished it, but it looks crazy. I will answer stuff in a minute. It's just my glasses are just, these lights make my glasses look terrible. Hi, Butts Unplugging, is there? I love the name Aziraphale. Oh, sorry, I love Aziraphale. I can't help it. If only I had my Aziraphale mug. Oh. Because like I had it in the first, I should have had that last night. I had a Aziraphale mug in the first special for the Star Beast. Just to tease David, obviously. But yeah, I have not seen the Unleashed yet. Potato bomb, sorry. It's because, like, I'm like, with by generation, but the extra bomb. I will definitely check it out. I should have done that before this. But, as I said, I've literally been trying to edit. Because, like, usually Sundays I put out my Good Place reactions and I just haven't had the time today. Like, my head struggles with stuff that's like an hour long normally. So, like, my Blake 7 reactions are in 2 halves. But Doctor Who specials are just like, wah. Oh, Aziraphale is now my close second favourite TV character of all time. He was my favourite, but it's now Izzy from Flag Means Death. I just love him. But Aziraphale is amazing. I love Aziraphale. I love Good Omens as well. But yeah, I will definitely be watching the Doctor Who Unleashed. Possibly in the morning. I've got to before I take my daughter to school. Because straight away in the morning before I get her to school, I've got literally, my head is just not in focus enough to even try to edit. So maybe I'll watch it then. Because I really love the previous like behind the scenes stuff they've been doing. That's like one of my favourite things for the specials that they've started doing. It's like all the behind the scenes stuff. Like they put out like introductory things with Regeneration, which is probably out I don't know. And then they've been like going introduction to monsters, and just like because it's now on Disney Plus, it's like introducing everyone to like that might not have watched it. It's now might be trying it out because of it being on Disney Plus. They're like, here's little introductory things. If you just want to start with this special, here's a little tidbit to give you some information. Happy Man, regarding one who's waiting. 2 people come to mind in my initial thoughts. Susan waiting for the first Doctor return and young Amelia Pond. That either of those would be would be insane, and I would not mind either. I have no idea. Like, it could be the Rani, which I can't believe I forgot in my reaction. Like, I knew it, but it was like my head wasn't letting me think of it. Because again, I'm only on season 2 of Classic Who, so like I've heard of the Rani, but I've not seen any of their episodes. But it could be literally anyone, but somebody that can scare the toy maker is crazy. I'm very good Irish girl. Thank you so much. I hope you're well as well. I personally really liked the episode. I think because of all the like being 2 Doctor stuff, and I'm feeling better about the 2 Doctor stuff and like the ending stuff because of like looking at people's their comments and stuff like that I've had in the video, kind of like explaining stuff to me and stuff like that. That's helped me feel better about it, but I still want to see what we've got coming next, and then that might settle my head on some of the things for the specials. But it was really good. Hi, Prior Official, thank you so much for coming in. And I love Izzy. Like, first time I watched season 1, loved the character, but love to hate type thing. Rewatch season 1, oh, I really like him now. And then he's just season 2. Phew. But obviously we're not going to get into that because this is Doctor Who, and I don't want to spoil because the UK, here in UK, still does not have an air date for season 2 of that yet. I had to literally get a VPN and subscribe to Max. It was a nightmare. But I'm so glad you're loving my Red Dwarf reactions. Next season, starting this, like I say, not next season, season 4. It was like, I've got a lot of season 4s at the moment. It's crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on, and then it's gonna be weird this weekend not having Doctor Who to watch. It's like my head has just started getting used to it, and then we don't have it, and then we got it on Christmas, and then I hope on Christmas they tell us the date for this new season because I want it. It's like I think Shooty was amazing. I loved his energy. Rose is meant to be 15. I have heard she was meant to be 15, yeah. It's confusing. He isn't, no. It's very confusing, isn't it? Because I believe some of the comments said I might be describing this wrong because I'm trying to recall all the, like, a lot of the episode to try and talk about it. So I might get some things wrong and stuff like that. It's just the way my brain works when I'm trying to think of so much stuff. But apparently it's meant to be like, there's like a time loop or so. I think something Shooty like alluded to, 15 alluded to. It's like basically 14 will live and then he'll act like he'll be able to live like this, but then he'll like basically time loop back into 15 and into that exact moment again. So I think basically 15 has already lived whatever 14's gonna experience, and that's why Shooty was like nice and relaxed and like able to comfort him and stuff like that. So I think basically 14 is going to live whatever life he wants to live, and then it'll loop back round to that exact moment. I think, if I might be describing that wrong from how people have been saying it in the comments, but I like that idea because then it means we get to, they can explore that aspect, David's regeneration, 14, in like comic books and actual books and audiobooks and all sorts of stuff. You know, like they could do it that way. And hell, he might become the curator. I don't know. But yeah, the Doctor, it's very, very confusing. I'm scared having two Doctors at the same time is going to undermine Shooty. I don't want to see the community divided. I think David's Doctor should only be in like audiobooks or graphic novels or stuff like that, and then maybe once ever so often appear. You know, he definitely should not be. Like, if they give us a show, I won't complain. If they give us a spin-off where he features in it, maybe they can somehow land, like, Earthlock and like time lock his TARDIS, and then it's like literally they could do it for scanning stuff or whatever. I don't know, or just have it as his house. I don't know. But if they have to have him have a spin-off series, I do think they should limit what he can do. You know, like so it doesn't. Because otherwise it will just undermine Shooty, and I think Shooty is going to be fantastic. That's very true. Maybe it's kind of like what they said with the 50th. How like when they would like, obviously War Doctor and also 10 went off, they wouldn't remember. So maybe when 15, like 14 regenerates and loops back round to 15, maybe everything's a little bit fuzzy. He can't quite remember everything, and plus, maybe he lives through. I don't know. It's just one of the many theories, and I think it's an interesting thing because it's getting people talking about it already, which is going to get people to tune in, which they would have done anyway because it's Doctor Who. But it's going to get people to tune in so they can actually literally just get like find out what it actually means. I think they probably could bring David back, but it would have to be I think it would have to be done really well. If like maybe ever so often, like once every like 2 or 3 series, bring them back on TV or for a special or something like that. I would say maybe not even for Shooty at all. You know, like it would have to be very limited how much they use him on TV because otherwise it will undermine the main Doctor.
Yeah.
It could be the unit spin-off. That would be interesting. But again, if they do have to use him in a TV series, I do think they should limit what the Doctor could do, whether or not whether he's got like I said, the TARDIS gets like locked to Earth in this time period or something like that, or can only travel on Earth. So the actual Doctor series does other planets mostly, or something like that. It's going to have to limit it because again, it will undermine the main series. I don't understand why the canon has to change all the time. It can be so confusing, Russia. It really can. And Like, I'm a bit confused and not 100% certain how I feel. Like, I don't mind it. It's not like I hate it. But I'm going to have to wait until I see more stuff that comes afterwards to, like, settle on how I feel about it. Because I need to see the explanation stuff afterwards. I am so looking forward to the Christmas special Irish Girl. It looks really cool. And I love Shooty's energy. He seems like so much fun. And he seems happy, you know? All 15 doctors. That is very true, Happy Man. All 15 doctors. I say 15 because the Meta Crisis one is in. It's so confusing. It's difficult to keep track of. I will definitely watch the Unleashed. I will definitely watch it. But yeah, the Toy Maker. I want more. Basically, 14 is difficult to keep track. 14 basically said he wanted to banish him from existence, but then he folded up and got put in a box and down to the vault, bound in salt. Lovely rhyme. But that still means he's technically in existence, so that kind of means that he could. I could see a way they could probably work that to actually bring him back somehow, and I hope they get Neil back. Neil was amazing. He looked like he was having so much fun. His energy just fitted. It just fits so well in the role and in the show. It was so fun. That would be interesting, having one with all three of them. With 13, 14 and 15. I would love that. I would love for Missy to meet 13. That would be brilliant. Because, like, that was literally Irish Girl. That I was literally about to say, who picked up the golden tooth. Because, like, the laughter kind of reminded me of all the laughter when the Master got brought back. You know, when John Sim got brought back in David's original last episodes. It kind of reminded me a bit of that. So are they going to do it some kind of like where he had a bit of his ring? Where he had his ring and they like the kind of that. So are we meant to believe that's his? No, the wife's dead. Scratch that. Is it meant to be Missy or somebody else, or maybe the Rani or somebody bringing him back? Because it's got to be the Master. It is. I know, like, you've got to like keep it fresh and keep it new. Like, you got to like. I can understand like people wanting to put a new spin on it, bring new things in, stuff like that, but it can be very confusing canon, and like I need to see the explanation for all the stuff we saw in the specials. I want to know who the bit boss is and that. I've seen that. I would not mind Jinx Monsoon being like the Master or the Rani. I saw a theory that they were the Rani. So I would not mind that. Like, or somebody theorized because of their costumes, like, got like piano keys, they could be one of the Toy Master's minions or something like that. There's multiple different theories about who they could be playing, and like I'm so excited for Jinx Monsoon. Like, I personally love watching RuPaul's Drag Race. I like that, so like I've watched like Jinx before, and they love Doctor. Apologies, I'm saying they because I can't remember what pronouns they use. But I wouldn't mind Torchwood coming back. It would be fun. I think it'd be good. It'd be an interesting little thing. Like, we could have a unit spin-off for like the more like crime drama type side of things, maybe. And then Torchwood for the darker, more adult side of things. And then the main Doctor Who show. They could, I think, like, nothing more. I don't think maybe one more show. But you don't want to go too big with the scope, because otherwise it would undermine the main show. Because Doctor Who has to remain the main show. It has to be the main focus, because otherwise it just takes away from the Doctor. Got to pick up his call back to his ring being picked up by the end of the flash. Oh, cool! I like seeing like little Easter eggs and tributes and stuff like that with things. I love that. I'm interested to see in like pictures like that can look cool. I'm interested to see. I'm going to reserve my judgment until I see the actual Christmas special, because like pictures like this, like lighting and stuff like that, and you see the whole thing at once, it can look a bit weird. Like, it did look really weird, and I get people, it looks like a Sky TV remote. I get that, but I think it'd be really interesting. I'm gonna have to wait to see for the Christmas special to like decide whether I like it, like don't like it or not. Because personally, like when I saw Jodie's 13's one for the first time, I wasn't 100% sold on it. But then, like personally, I like it in the show because like they made it at the time, and I thought that was I personally thought that was a cool thing to do. For me, the Valeyard, do not like. Obviously, I'm very low. I'm very like early on in Classic Who, and I've got a long way. I've heard about a flattened gaming mouse. Yeah, I'm as far as I know a long way from the Valeyard. I don't know when the Valeyard comes in Classic Who. I know who the Valeyard technically is. I know that much. Because I've heard it referenced. But I don't know about how that comes to be. So please be like, I might forget by the time I get to that, because it's probably going to take me several years to get to that point. But like I probably got a bit spoiled-ish, maybe-ish for the Celestial Toymaker. But again, I've got a way to go for that, I think. Isn't that the end of season 3? The Celestial Toymaker? Something like that, isn't it? I can't remember exactly, but I know it's something like season 3. But again, I've pre-ordered. They're doing the animation for that, so I've pre-ordered it, obviously, on Steelbook on Amazon, because obviously I've got to have that. What did I think of the Wild Blue Yonder? Yeah, I'm so sorry for that didn't work. Literally, the previous week I had audio issues with like actually recording the footage. Luckily, the Doctor Who one worked. Wild Blue Yonder, footage worked, my microphone didn't, so I literally had no microphone sound. It was a pain in the ass. I was like, I would have rather had the Wild Blue Yonder work than the first special because of the fact it had Wilf. I cried my eyes out seeing, like, I technically knew that Bernard Cribbins was going to be in it. Or rather, he was originally intended to be in it, because I saw last year, I was on Twitter, can't remember why, but I saw like a suggested tweet basically with set pictures of Bernard Cribbins on the show. So I knew he was going to be in it somewhere. I just didn't know how or when or why, and I didn't know if maybe they cut his piece out because his family might have requested it be because of his passing. But so like I was glad that I kind of knew, because I was mentally prepared for it. And I still cried my eyes out, because there's very few celebrity deaths that made me cry, and he was one of them. And plus, my daughter likes him as well. But as far as I know, the Valeyard comes... Well, that's cool. Because, hey, if it's still a mystery, they could always come up with a reason. Like, if it is still a mystery, if it's not, just say, like, if somebody in the chat could say it's not, just don't give me the reason how it comes to be. Because I know technically who the Valeyard is. Technically. But now, if they don't know, they can like kind of like write it into canon now. They can like work out why, and have it maybe tied to the Toymaker. That would be interesting. Like he could be like, it's got to be a big thing. If it's gonna be the one, because if it's the one who waits, and if it made the Toymaker run away, it's got to be huge. To me, it can't be like the Master. It can't be just the Master, because obviously we know he battled the Master because of his tooth with way too many teeth in his shot. That was freaky. But yeah, it's got to be somebody big. It can't be like a Cyberman or anything weird like that. Maybe the Rani. Hell, it'd be interesting if it was Susan. And maybe I know. I think I said this in the special discussion, or I might have thought it afterwards. I can't remember, I'm sorry, but obviously Susan is just Gallifreyan, but she's not a Time Lord. So if we just had normal Gallifreyan and Time Lord stuff, she wouldn't be able to regenerate. But she's a like literal blood, birth, all that descendant of the Doctor. So is she able to regenerate through that? So we could get Susan. So it could technically be Susan, the one who waits. And it's just a different regeneration, which I hope, if we get Susan, it's still Carol Ann Ford, because I think she deserves to be on screen again. She does. Because she's freaking... I won't go into it because I know not everybody's watched Classic Who, but a lot of it she didn't get the chance to perform as like she wasn't given meaty stuff. Like a lot of her stuff was like stereotypical whiny, like not whiny, but damsel in distress type stuff. But then like the first episode of Edge of Destruction arc in season 1, she was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So like I would love for her to. I know she's done like audiobooks and stuff like that, and she was in. Was it the 5 Doctors she was in, or the 3 Doctors? Or it was one of the specials. So it could it'd be interesting. She's been on TV before, so it means she could be back. The Doctor's daughter would be awesome. And now if it's the Doctor's daughter, and it's still the same regeneration, because if she's technically a clone, she should be able to regenerate. But if it's the Doctor's daughter, it has to be the same regeneration. And it would be amazing if that would have to be when they have 14 back in, because obviously it's Georgia. We'd have to have husband and wife on screen, which would be freaky. Husband and wife, or father and daughter. In more ways than one, because Georgia is Peter Davison's daughter, and it's very confusing. But I would love it if it was the Doctor's daughter. It's not one I've actually seen, theory I've seen today, but that would be an awesome idea, I think. I would love it if it was Susan. It would have to be David, just because it's them, because it's Georgia and David, it would have to be. And then just have Michael Sheen in the background, just make them laugh. Put them back to the Doctor's Wife episode, have it on House again, because then you'd have Michael Sheen as the voice, and it would just be perfect. And then get Michael's partner in there as well. And then have the whole staged gang. Oh, yeah. I can't wait over the next week. Everybody else's reactions coming out, because I love a story when someone close to the Doctor turns evil because they waited for the Doctor. But that would be a cool thing. Because we saw kind of ish. I always forget the character's name. Maisie Williams' character, she wasn't evil-ish, kind of. It was confusing, her stuff. But she, went evil, but then she didn't, and it was just weird. But it would be interesting if somebody waited for the Doctor, or an old companion or an old friend that he, met a few times or once or whatever, and they just, were waiting for him to come around or something like that. But it would be interesting if the reason for the one who waits is the Doctor. And it would be really interesting. It would be really interesting. Oh, I loved it too, Ronnie. Hi. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, I loved all 3. I wish you guys, my reaction for the second one, Wild Blue Yonder, had worked, because I said in my reaction, I said multiple things in my reaction. I can't remember them all, unfortunately. And I can't go back and watch my reaction to bring them back because there's no microphone. But I don't do jump scare stuff or scary stuff or anything like that. I really don't I don't do well with stuff that's obviously it wasn't that scary, but I jumped quite a few times, so it probably would have been quite funny for you guys. And plus, David and Catherine were phenomenal. I love how it's how they reference the fact that we had the toy maker back in it. Although one of my things having the toy maker in it is how they had I've seen an image. Obviously I don't know any context beyond the episode we obviously just saw last night. I don't know any context, but I've seen an image. I think it's the last image from the episode, or the last chronological image that is surviving anyway. But it's the toy maker stood, I think, outside the TARDIS. And he was stood, the number in front on the floor in front of the TARDIS was number 14. So it makes me wonder, is that why they chose the toy maker? Because it literally, he was stood on number 14. It was like it was sending a message through time to say, this is when I'm coming back. I love that little touch. Whether it was intended, obviously I doubt it was intended originally, but Russell probably saw it and went, aha. I think it's brilliant. Oh, I don't like dolls. Oh god, that made me they're not a big phobia of mine, but that freaked me out. I did not like that. Oh god, no, marionettes and stuff like that. When I was younger, I used to have porcelain dolls. I had 3 or 4, not a chance I'd have him now. Me and Clara, that's fair enough. I'd be fine with having Clara back, but I doubt they would get me back personally. His theme, if that's his theme that was playing in the TARDIS, it was gorgeous, and I thought he was hilarious. They could do a spin-off with Maisie Williams, maybe, and like, because obviously her and Clara are in that TARDIS, that could be a spin-off, whether it's story, like audiobooks or whatever, or like one-off specials every so often, or a mini-series or something like that, you know, as long as it doesn't, like, I don't think it would be too much, you know. But I loved Ncuti. I thought his energy, and his energy was perfect, especially if the time loop thing is right, where he's gone through living his life, getting to heal, getting to relax, and just experience things. It would make sense, because he seemed a lot more relaxed. He's like, his trauma that he had experienced overall, like all the regenerations we've seen and all the stuff he's endured. It's like he said, that's me, I am you. But he basically was like, I've experienced that, but I'm okay. As far as we see, he just seemed a lot more happier. It's like, he's the oldest Doctor, but he also seemed like, I know technically I think he is the youngest, isn't he? Maybe, I don't know if Matt was younger, I can't remember. But he just seems like the youngest, you know, because he doesn't have all that weight on his shoulders anymore. And I realised something whilst I was editing today. This is the first time with a new Doctor that I've been older than the Doctor, and I hate it. Maybe they had 17 at the scene with the two that's kind of what I thought. But I just whacked my hand. Oh, that's kind of what I thought, Potato. Like, I saw the 17 on that thing, and I was like, aha. Is that a subliminal message? Like with the 14, are we getting 17 now? I wouldn't complain, because like, I think I would love the toy makers being in it a lot. I wouldn't mind if they did it. I wouldn't mind, but I think he should be like not in it as much as the Master, even though we didn't get the Master at all with 11, sorry. But I think it'd be fun if he's in it like every other regeneration or something like that. I love the Duke box. It's already got a little bit of like Ncuti's character, you know? And again, I agree with him. He needs seating. Like, they should have at least 1 or 2 seats on top, and there's so much space on the bottom level of the control room, or the console room. They should have a nice seating lounging area down there, you know? I thought that would be amazing. Yeah, exactly. Ncuti is a post-therapy Doctor. He's been through therapy. He's had his like experience with his family. He's got to be just him. And now he's worked through all his, like, at least some of his trauma anyway, because he's obviously a lot more lighter in the way he was. And he seems amazing. Capaldi did have nice seating, yeah. But I think seating is a good thing. Because one, like, if it's in, like, sometimes it can, like, take a while. Like, or at least in like classic it can, but it's also like if something like jolts or stuff like that, you got a nice you got a chair to fall back on or something like that, you know, instead of considering the size of that drop and stuff like that. If it shakes too much, you'd go flying over the edge. You need something to land on. But a nice corner sofa, or like a curved one in that with like loads of cushions and stuff like that, and like the nice oranges and reds and stuff like that to go with like the main outfit we've seen him in. He's got a lot from the pictures they've put out. He's got some gorgeous costumes coming, beautiful costumes. But that nice one with like the brown or like tan leather, long leather jacket coat, and that shirt. I think you can see his seating area being in that kind of colour. I think it would be beautiful. Lots of nice comfy cushions and stuff like that. Be beautiful. But I'm so excited for him. He seems like so much fun, and I think this morning we're getting more Mel. I wouldn't mind. I would not mind more Mel. Obviously, I'm way off of seeing Mel in Classic Who, but I really liked her in the episode, so I would not say no to more of her, even without seeing her original stuff. But like, I think the new Sonic Screwdriver, I think most like if they he does look like the most fashionable Doctor, yeah, but I think with the new Sonic Screwdriver, like if you gave it to like maybe 10 could make it work, maybe or 10 or 14 maybe could make it work, or 13 could make it work. but like most of the Doctors could not make that new Sonic work. I think Shootie's character, from the little bit we've seen, he might be able to make that design work, you know? I think he might be able to make it work. And there's also, I can't remember like the Gallifreyan in the circle bit. Apparently it's is it a Rwandan proverb? It's something like the sharpness of the word is mightier than the warrior, or something along those lines. And I love that they put that in there, a Rwandan proverb, because Shootie's originally from Rwanda and then obviously went to Scotland. So I love that they put that little bit in there for Shootie. I thought that was beautiful. I saw that on his on the YouTube channel because they put up a bit about it, and I thought it was beautiful. Hey, at least he even admits that he knows, like he probably knew that was going to come out. So he's like, I'll make the joke for everybody. But I think he could make it work. Any other Doctor? Again, maybe 14, maybe 13 could make it work. Maybe 10. Most likely not. But I think Shootie can make that one work. Just from that little bit we've seen, I think it would work. Oh god, yeah. Doctor's Lounge with loads of out-of-date magazines. How out of date though? Are they going to get a newspaper from like the 1800s? Or something like that. Oh dear. But I am looking forward to the special, Christmas special, and the new season. Cause like 11 could have. He probably could have. Possibly, yeah. He would have commented on like going, oh my god, what? Are you sure? He would have been like taking digs at the TARDIS, like going, this is the one you gave me? What is this thing? He would like make it work, but he would also make jokes about it as well, I think. It'd be quite funny. I hope we get a nice break from like Daleks and Cybermen. Like Daleks, I love Daleks. I'm alright with them turning up and stuff like that, but I think we should space them out a bit more instead. I know they've got to use them every so often because it's like something to do with the rights. With, I think, Terry Nation's estate or something like that. They got to, like, use them ever so often. They've legally got to use them. Which is fair enough. But, like, one episode a season or something like that, I'm okay with. But, like, Cybermen, we can take a break from. Like, I want them to do... I say it in my Classic Who reactions. I want them to do some historical episodes. Obviously, with, we do get, like, I've seen from the costumes, we do get some kind of... Not full, like, kind of historical ones, because, like, the one with Jonathan Groff, they seem like at least Renee's, like, Victorian era, maybe earlier clothing. But obviously with, like, Shootie, and that, it's gonna, like, it would, bring up a certain type of storyline, you know, like, and, like, certain stories if we do historical ones and that. So they'd have to go back to certain time periods and stuff like that. Oh, God, if they bring that back to Slitheen... Maybe do it like... I could see it working. It'd be hilarious. But it'd have to be a really good story. And like, you got to have a fun episode every so often in Doctor Who, haven't you? Like, you can have some serious emotional ones and stuff like that. Action ones. But you've got to have a silly episode of Doctor Who. Because that's part of what makes Doctor Who Doctor Who. Is it can be funny. It's got to be funny. I'm just going to mute the microphone because I just got to blow my nose. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, like, they could bring this living back. Like, I think they should, like, everybody... Oh, God. I'm not even going to try to say it. I'm not even going to try to say that, because I couldn't say it when I first heard it. But yeah, I would love it if they did historical ones, like, solely historical ones, no aliens, like the Crusade or Marco Polo or Aztecs. I'm going off the classic ones I've seen. But if they did it just solely historical, no machines, no aliens, I would love for them to do that, you know? So I think it'd be nice to just have it just be them go back into history, but obviously, because of Shootie, it would come up with some interesting, like, not interesting, some difficult situations and topics and stuff like that, and like you just know if they do that kind of topic, you'd have people claiming it would be woke and stuff like that, you know, sadly. But I think it would be interesting because I love historical episodes. I'm loving those in Classic Who. Like, my favourite Classic Who story so far is Marco Polo, and I say it almost every time in my Classic Who reactions. I want Disney to animate Marco Polo because they've got photos for reference, they've got all the audio. I just want to see it visually because the story is fantastic. I've listened to the whole audiobook, it's amazing. When the Toymaker said my legions are coming, I was thinking about the Trickster maybe coming back. Hey, I wouldn't mind having Clyde and Rani turn up. That would be fun. Oh god, imagine if they had the Rani turn up in that episode as well. And then there would be... Actually, no, I wouldn't want them to do that because then it would make it a joke. Because of Rani and the Rani. It'd be confusing. It would be fun to have like an alien from Sarah Jane be in it, you know? It would be fun. Like a little thing for her. I think it would be really nice. It'd be really, really nice. Like, I love having like the classic companions come back and stuff like that. Like, I would love to see some more classic companions at some point. Obviously not overdo it. You don't want to overdo it. Because again, it would just get tiring every so often having like, oh, it's that person, they've come back. Yay, that's great. But we've just seen such and such. You know, it'd be, again, that'd have to be a thing they space out. I think legions are just god type enemies like the Toymaker. RTD does refer to the Toymaker as the god of the games. That does make sense. He does seem like that kind of thing. Which, for the talk with that, because they locked him away in the vault, and he said this is just a visage or whatever. This is just a look. This is just, something vast underneath this. It could literally be any actor playing him from now on, you know? There literally could be anyone playing the Toymaker, and they could make it work. Hey, I wouldn't say no to some, like, an original new, like, Celestial, because he's... No worries, Butts Unplug. Hey, go unplug, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in. But yeah, it would be... I think it would make sense to have it be an original character because of the fact that the Toymaker was outside the universe, so it could be a being that scared him is outside the universe. But then again, if he's outside the universe, if the Toymaker is outside the universe, how did they get the truth of the Master? Unless in that time they encountered the Master or a regeneration of the Master. It's confusing. I think it probably would be season 4, this coming season for Shooty with the boss, because I think with how they've alluded to it, I think maybe the boss or all the stuff that we've had, like the one who waits, that maybe have that build up over season 14, and then next Christmas special have that be like the big thing, or at least the season 14 finale, you know? They definitely shouldn't wait too long to have like the payoff from that. They can't leave it too long for it to happen. I think it has to happen like now. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that like if he's got celestial kin and stuff like that, and to, like they're gonna bring the Toymaker back. They didn't cut him out of existence, because he's in a box. So it's like, if they could just get him out of there and like do something, especially if it's one of his kin. They could literally find him there, use their energy or whatever, or their gains or whatever they're god of, to bring him back. Like, they left him in a box in the vault, bound in salt, gotta say the whole thing, for a reason, because otherwise he would have just disappeared. They left it open for him to return, and I would not complain. It's gonna be a normal episode, but Legion's and the one who waits for me. That's true. Like, the boss could be in the Christmas special. We don't know. But I think the one who waits does sound like a season finale, because that, or special, or Christmas special or something, because like the legions might be multiple different races, like the goblins in the Christmas special. They could be part of the legions. Because it could be multiple different races. I don't know, because they're a bit fantastical goblins, aren't they? So maybe they came out of a game or something. But the boss and the one who waits. The one who waits sounds a bit more imposing. You know, it sounds a bit more ominous and scary. Okay. This room heats up so fucking much, it's ridiculous. Excuse me. The goblin song. I've heard there is a goblin song. There is a little bit, I can't remember what it was, but there was a little bit of a difference, wasn't there? For the outro theme. It's like maybe with Shooty's theme song, it's only going to be slightly different. And maybe in the outro theme, maybe they were using Shooty's outro theme. Because obviously he's keeping the TARDIS look, at least for now. So I wouldn't mind if he kept the opening credits or the outro. I wouldn't mind, because I love those opening credits are absolutely beautiful. The music's gorgeous and the graphics are phenomenal. The graphics look so cool. Two specials. It stuck out to me that there was a heavy emphasis on. There wasn't there? Like, I can remember that you could, like, it definitely stuck out. To me, if anything, it kind of stuck out a bit more in the second one. Like, I actually took on full-on notice of it. It was really weird. I swear, like, they were slightly different each time. That is a good point. Jinx's outfit does have piano keys. So Jinx could be the boss. Or the one who waits. Maybe Jinx is the Rani. Or, I wouldn't mind if they were the Master. But it'd be cool if they were the Rani. I would not mind at all. There is something extra and I can't quite place it. I'd have to rewatch it. Like, this is going to be an episode I'll have to rewatch a few times to like pick everything up and also watch everybody else's reactions, because otherwise I will trying to recall things off the top of my head when I've only watched something once. It can be quite difficult for me. Oh, if it's people marching, it could be the legions coming. I like that. I like the idea of them having little bits slightly different in each, like, outro or something like that, kind of alluding to what's coming up. So maybe throughout season 14, they can have a little bit different each time. And then in the last episode, in the finale, they could have something humongous, like, oh my god, oh, that's what all the sounds were on about. It was that character. I think that would be amazing if they just, like, change it slightly, add a little bit, or change it, or like if it becomes like more ominous or more scary or more creepy as it goes along. It could be the Legion. It really could. Like, I think it'd be cool if they, again, like I said, just change it every episode throughout season 14, and then we get the full thing in the last episode, or the full thing in the penultimate episode where we're like, oh my god, that's what's going to happen? That's what all that sound meant. I love that idea. I'm just going to take my blanket off, because I might take my jumper off or my hat off. I might change my hat in a minute because I get so overheated in this room sometimes. Excuse me. I gotta keep shifting. Because, like, this is like a little fucking hot box sometimes. It just gets so hot. Because I can tell it's warm because my nose won't stop running. Sorry. Earlier, I love with 50. I love that. Get out. I loved him. I loved 15. I loved him comforting 14 and, like, going, give him a kiss on the forehead. It's like talking about, like people could read it as like self-love and stuff like that, and learning to accept yourself. And it's like, I think the way they did it is like people can take whatever they want from that moment, you know. I think it's really nice. The General Grievous 19, great name. I love my Star Wars. But hi, thank you so much for coming in. I've not long put these gloves on. I'll probably change my hat in a minute. I get hot. I might actually. I'm all over the place because I'm getting hot and flustered. I'm just going to unplug something and I'm going to put my fan on because usually that helps. Every outro, though, it gets more and more silent, but the marching gets louder. That's a good idea. Either do like what I said with like adding a bit in each time, or it becomes more creepy and like heavy-handed piano or something like that throughout the season. Or, like you said, like it just gets less and less until it's the marching. So like it could be up like the penultimate episode where you know the Legion is coming, and that penultimate episode's outro is just marching. I like that idea. That would be cool. Because like I swear the music changed each special, and I think it'd be cool if they're using those audio cues, because I think it's really cool. His person, yeah, I can see a bit of 11 and 9. He seems like, I think maybe not like I can see bits of 9, but like 9 was still like fresh out of the war, out of having the war, because obviously he's right after the war. What we now know he was right after the War Doctor. But like Shooty is a lot more like, as we said earlier, post-therapy Doctor. You know, he hasn't got the weight on his shoulders that the modern Who Doctors have had so far. And I think it could be very, very interesting. For God's sake, Discord, what are you showing me? Right, sorry, I'm getting all sorts of crap coming up on my Discord. Just random notifications for something, excuse me. Let's just put that back. Okay, well, okay. But there's so much potential. Like, I think everything we've seen in the 60th is going to, like, maybe be explained over the next season or two. I haven't seen, like, done the BBC Radio special, but, like, I can't wait to hear all the music and stuff like that. Like, I even forgot, like, I couldn't quite remember her name. Like, I kind of remembered it was Ruby, but not quite enough. Like, I could not remember the name of the Christmas special. I could not. But, oh, thank you so much. 15 days until we see 15 again. Only. Oh, God, I can't believe Christmas is that close. That's crazy. But thank you so much for coming in, Ronnie. Thank you so, so much. I get so fucking warm in this room. Excuse me. I'm taking my slipper socks off now. Like, I might take my hat off. So I'm going to get my hat in preparation. I got to move. It's an emotional French waltz, but it's a lot of piano. Oh, I like that idea. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think I really like the episode. It's just there's some stuff that I'm going to have to watch what comes next and how they like resolve some stuff or explain some stuff, like the bi-generation, if whether or not that's implicated, or the fact that we've now got 2 doctors. Like, once that's kind of like seen. Oh, thank you so much, Ronnie. Thank you. That's really sweet of you for subscribing. I'm glad you do. I hope you enjoy whatever I got coming next. But thank you. But yeah, I think with some of the little bits I was like talking about at the end of my reaction, like I think once we've seen more episodes, like the next few episodes, or maybe the next season, it will help resolve the it's not like I don't like anything. Like, I like everything in the special. I like it all. But I can't quite word exactly how I feel with some of it. Like, I can't find the right words. And I think I will, hopefully, once we've seen, like, maybe at least the Christmas special or the next season. I'm just going to stand up. Excuse me, I've got a shelf up there with, like, DVDs, because I haven't got any shelving behind me except for this thing. But I've got my DVDs and I've got some of my hats up there. So, obviously not that one, but this one. Because it's just this surprisingly thick, this hat, but my hair is always a mess whenever I take my hats off, so I'm going to duck out the camera so you guys can't see my mess of hair. Go away. Or, no, don't go away. I'm trying to be funny, it's not bloody working. It is too warm. Although I know I'm going to feel it whenever I will definitely be watching The Unleashed. I will definitely be watching The Unleashed, maybe at some point tomorrow. That's absolutely fine. Like, it's just like what I've said before, not tonight, but before, like, other reactions. They can never please everyone with every single thing they do. They got, like, people have got to put in their own ideas and stuff like that, and ever so often refresh or whatever, like, make it feel a bit newer, but also stay true to what the spirit of Doctor Who. And then, like, if somebody doesn't like an idea, thank you very much, thank you. I need to get back to Twitch because I've been playing through on my Twitch through the whole series. I'm currently still on Valhalla. I haven't played it in a few months. I need to get back to it. Sorry, sometimes I have to say stuff for my own benefit so I remember, or try to get myself to do it. But right now I've got confused. But I think with Doctor Who, like, if you don't like a certain regeneration or a certain season or a certain story, like with Classic Who, obviously they have their stories, you can skip that Doctor. You can skip that season. You can skip that particular story, you know? You can, like, if you want to keep up with the story that might have happened in with that Doctor, you can read online stuff if you want to. But you don't, like, if you don't like a Doctor or a showrunner or whatever, you can skip a Doctor, you know? You don't have to watch every single thing, and you could just let other people enjoy the idea. Because, like, I'm interested in the bi-generation thing. I want to know what it means and stuff like that. Like, I will watch The Unleashed, and also, like, obviously I'll see what implications might be in the future with whatever they release. But exactly, people, like, I personally don't mind the Timeless Child retcon. I quite like it myself, but I can absolutely 100% see and completely understand why people like yourself don't like it. I can completely understand, because that's like with Doctor Who. Like, I think, or with a lot of shows. Exactly. Headcanon your own enjoyment. Like, I'm not going to say any spoilers for it, but our flag means death, or like people do it with Supernatural. I've heard, because I've barely watched any Supernatural. You could just pretend certain like finales or whatever didn't exist, and then headcanon your own stuff, you know. And if you want to see any little like tidbits of the parts you haven't missed, there's plenty of like descriptions online and stuff like that if you want to fill yourself in. You don't have to watch stuff. It's like I think that's absolutely okay, as long as people accept that some people will like stuff you don't like, and some people will love or will hate stuff that you do like. It's just that's okay. Because like, I personally, like, obviously I admit a lot of Jodie's episodes weren't the best, but like, I liked the Timeless Child stuff. I loved Jodie. Graham is one of my favourite companions. I personally loved Flux. I personally liked Flux. I loved the way it's structured, like a book, like in the middle. You don't have a clue what's going on. It's like a book. It's chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter whatever. Exactly. You've got to respect other people's opinions. Like, not everybody's going to agree with everything. Not everybody's going to like everything, and that's okay. With Doctor Who, there is something for everyone. Like, there is a doctor for everyone. And stuff like that. And like, as people will sometimes like not like something originally and then go back and watch it and love it. Like, I've said it before. I think I might have said it last week in my discussion last week. I watched Matt's first episode. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. I did not watch again until like I think it was BT On Demand. Don't even know if that still exists. We had the first half of season 7 on demand, and I was like, and also his previous ones as well. But I was like, oh, season 7's on there. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put the first episode of season 7 on. Don't know why I did, considering I hadn't watched any of his other seasons or any of his other ones. I was like, I'll watch it, and I was like, I ended up binging all of the first half of season 7. Then I found out he was leaving at the end of season 7, and I went back and binged all the way through his other episodes. I did not like him at all, his first episode. But then I went back and rewatched it, loved it. I love Rory. Adore Rory. 70% of the enjoyment of Doctor Who is the community and discussing the differences. Exactly, yeah, I love that. And I love that. And I think it's obviously, you're going to get people that don't agree with stuff and they will be nasty about it and things like that. But every fandom gets that, sadly. It's horrible, but I think with Doctor Who and other things like shows and stuff like that I like, it's nice when you've got people having different opinions. And it's one of the things, like with my Flag Means Death talks and then these ones as well, hearing other people's opinions and other people talking about what they saw in an episode, like this episode and stuff like that, like reading the comments that I've had on my reactions and stuff like that helps me process everything, and it helps me figure out what I like from the episode, and it makes me realise, like, okay, like there might be something that doesn't make sense to me first of all, but then I see like a tweet or a comment or somebody else's reaction, they discuss it, and I'm like, oh, that's what that was. Oh my god, I feel so stupid. I actually like that now. I love that. It's one of the benefits of like, yeah, okay, you got a lot of crap on Twitter. Sorry, X. And like other people's reactions, and some people's reactions I don't watch and stuff like that, but that's okay. They're just not for me. But it does, it can be nice, and it's nice hearing different opinions. It's like, somebody doesn't like, if you don't agree with somebody's opinion, like there's certain reactions that I've gone and watched, I'm like, okay, that's not for me, I won't watch them again. But that's their opinion, they're allowed that opinion, you know? I love... Capaldi is my favourite modern Doctor. I love Capaldi. I absolutely love him. When they... Like, I can remember watching the announcement night, right? Because obviously we had Bernard on it, and I think Peter Davison was there as well. It was hosted by Zoe Ball. They announced him. Like, I knew nothing about Peter. I'd seen him in nothing. Like, at the time, I hadn't seen any of, like, even little clips of him in Torchwood. Oh, actually, no, I lie. I saw him in the Pompeo episode, obviously. When they announced him, all I knew him from was The Thick of It. The Thick of It is not for me, is all I'll say. It's just, I've never watched it, but the clips of thing did not like. It's not my kind of humour, and that's okay. So they literally, as first they announced it, I was like, oh god, that's going to be awful. But then I watched his interview. I watched him talking about it, and talking about how much he loved it, and actually seeing him. And I was like, oh, okay, he could actually be good. And he like in his first episode, I was like, oh my god, I freaking love him. I like all the modern Doctors. I think every single one of them is fantastic in their own way. I think everybody's great. Capaldi is my favourite modern Doctor. My favourite Doctor overall, though, is 1 so far. I'm loving watching number 1. I think William Hartnell is phenomenal. And like his... Obviously I won't go into it because I know not everybody's going to watch classic, but the influence that like Barbara and Ian have had on him is lovely. And you see his changing character, and he's just... William Hartnell is fantastic. And Ian Chesterton is my favourite companion out of all of them. Closely followed by Wilf, and then it's Rory, and then it's Graham. There's so many awesome companions. Now, like, if people like say, who's your Doctor? I can see that. Like, literally, I can see him becoming my favourite. Like, at least my favourite modern, maybe. Because, like, he just seems so light. And, like I keep saying, he's just seems so, like, happy, you know? If you're going to start watching Classic Who, the Timeless Child episodes are not on BBC iPlayer. I don't know what country you're in, apologies. They're not on BBC iPlayer, but they are on ITVX, which you have to pay for. But the Timeless Child episodes are on there, and they're the first ones. So if you want to watch from the very beginning, and you're in the UK, you've got to go on ITVX, because they're not allowed... They're not on BBC iPlayer because there's something to do with licensing from the writer's perspective or something like that. But it's really good, and like you can see from the very beginning of like the first Doctor's like relationship and interactions with Ian and Barbara to what they become. It's brilliant, like seeing, like you can see his character journey. Although with pretty much most of what the classic Doctor Who stories I've seen so far from First Doctor, you could literally pick and choose your stories. They're not really like, you have like at the end of a story you will have a little most of the time a little teaser for the next story, but that's about it. Okay, so like you could literally go in, like pick one story, like, oh, I like the sound of that one, I'll watch this and stuff like that. So it's awesome. Like, so I really want to rewatch the special so I can like watch it more and just I'm gonna say it, because I'm just getting random stuff pop into my head now. I can't wait. I want more of the Toy Maker. I want more Neil Patrick Harris. I can't help it. He does. He seems like very emotionally open and very loving. Like, cause like I think that's why like it. That kind of lends like credence to the time loop thing. Like 14's gonna live his life happy, be able to process everything he's been through, at least some of it anyway. He'll be able to process it, come to terms with it, and live a life and get to be happy and relax. And then that's going to loop back around to 15. So he'll come through as 15 in that split moment. And that's why 15's nice and light and happier. And like it really, like you could almost see, like I don't know if it was their way that 14 and 15 were standing, but it really did, like you could almost see like like 14 had the weight of so many worlds on his shoulders because of the flux and everything else. 15 didn't have that. He was just like a lot more like flowy and bouncy and stuff like that, and I think it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, like it would be like, I think he's gonna, like, I think maybe it could be that he's trying to appear that way, and then he's still got it, the trauma inside his mind somewhere, maybe, or maybe he gets forced to relive some of that, or he gets those emotions put back into him, or we don't know what might happen with Ruby or something like that. I think, because I think of how light and how happy and airy and just like happy he is. I think when he gets darker or scary or like sad, it's going to be such a stark contrast. One, it's going to be a showcase for Shooty's acting, but it's also going to make it feel that much more impactful when you, like, if he's happy all the time and bouncy and just happy, or a little light, more light in his mood and movements and stuff like that, it will make it just more impactful when he gets affected emotionally. And I think that will probably benefit the show. I think that they do it right, it'll be really good. Hang on, I gotta move back to stretch my legs a bit, because I've got hypermobility syndrome, so like I've got to move every so often. Yay, my messed up body with my ligaments. This should not be nice. It should not be nice, but it's so nice. I liked 13 stuff. I wasn't as excited as I was for 12 stuff. Like, I was excited for Flux. I personally liked the Timeless Child stuff. I loved the Centenary, and I'm still annoyed that I haven't been able to get I've got my reaction, it's just only half done. Or like, it's been so nice having Doctor Who, like, and being excited and people being excited online. And that, like, I love the excitement being back. Because again, like I started saying, I liked 13. 13, Jodie was fantastic. Personally, I thought she was great. Yeah, some of her stories have been bad, but then again, some of David's original stories are bad, like the Absorbaloff is all I need to say. You know, like every single Doctor has had at least one or two clunkers with their stories and that. So it's like, it's just, I liked her, and like I liked some of her episodes, but it didn't give me this excitement. Again, nothing against her, and I liked all the characters she had on the TARDIS with her. Like, I love Graham, he's one of my favourites, and that might just be Bradley Walsh. Then I love Bradley Walsh, grew up with him. But it's just, there's a different kind of excitement now. It's like, maybe it's because of the age I was when, like, David's, like, I was younger with David's stuff, and I actively watched David's stuff and stuff like that all the time. And I can remember sitting down and watching it. But it's just like, I'm just getting that feeling back, and I think it's got to be, like, obviously David and Catherine, but also having Russell back. He's just got this, just something about his stuff that it just gives you a certain feeling. I love Peter Capaldi. I love him. Like, he is my favourite modern Doctor, absolutely. I could see Shooty maybe. I want to see more of him, but from that little bit, he could possibly become my favourite. But again, I'm going to reserve that thought for whenever, for the Christmas special at least. But yeah, Peter Capaldi's amazing. And oh my god, I love the guitar on the tank part. I love the guitar on the tank. It's just like, and it's the fact, what makes it even cooler is that when you know it's actually him, it just makes that moment so much even more awesome. Ay. Like, it just, I think now I've seen the third special, it's like I loved the other two, but they didn't feel like centenary specials to me. To me, I've seen this kind of like as a mini-series instead of 3 separate specials. Like, they kind of fed one into the other, and like it was an ongoing like story in a way, which we found out in the 3rd special it kind of was-ish. So it's like, now I've seen the 3rd special, it's kind of like made me like the other 2 even more than I already did. You know, like retrospectively, which is why I think once we get like at least a Christmas special, maybe at least some of the next season, that might make me understand my thoughts and processes on the what the stuff that I'm not 100% sure on from the finale, from the last special from last night. Like, it was great, but there's like I've already said, it was great. I liked everything, but there's just certain things I don't know exactly how to word exactly how I feel, which is really annoying. But I guess it's that feeling is kind of like leaving me wanting more. Like, I need to watch more. And I think maybe they must have done that on purpose, you know, like they must have left me people feeling like this, like, okay, I need to watch that to understand that, because I guess that kind of makes sense in a way. Like, they're going to make you want to watch more to understand more, and it's just, they've done it really cleverly, I think, because it's making us talk about it. There's so much discourse online about it, and there's so many theories already going around. It's going to make people really, really tune in on Christmas Day, because it's a Christmas special again. Like, I didn't mind the New Year's specials. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind them. But having a Christmas special it's Doctor Who, you know? It's just, having a Doctor Who's Christmas special is going to be amazing. It's going to be not fair, because I'm not going to be able to watch it as it airs. I'm going to have to wait until my daughter's in bed to watch it, so it's going to be a nightmare. And then I'm going to be editing it on Boxing Day, which is not fair. Like, last night I didn't watch the special until like 9:45 at night. I kept getting like Twitter, because I've got Twitter alerts for excuse me, my throat's starting to hurt because I still got the edge of cold. But I get little alerts from the Doctor Who Twitter. So like I kept all evening, I was out, I kept getting alerts on my watch of them posting about it, and I was like, I can't look at my watch, I can't look at anything. And it was so difficult, because it's like, I do not want to be spoiled for this. I do not want to find out anything. It's just, it was so difficult. And it's going to be a nightmare on Christmas. Because all I'm going to be thinking about is Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who. Which is like, I haven't had this feeling in a while. And it's going to be so fun. Like, it's just... as I said, I personally like 13 and stuff like that, but it didn't give me this excitement, you know? I'm so excited for what Shooty's got in store for us, and having Russell back. I think it's also having Russell back and also having David back and Catherine kind of gave us that sense of nostalgia as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how people feel when it's fully just Shooty. But yeah, I can definitely see Shooty possibly becoming my favourite, at least modern Who. Because he was so much fun, and he was just so sweet. There's just so much potential for him, I think. So much potential, and it's going to be awesome. Like, what keeps popping up on my watch? Okay, that's why. Sorry, it's because I didn't have it on like I didn't have it on like airplane mode or whatever it is, or cinema mode they call it, so you literally don't get the audio and stuff like that. I didn't have that on, so my watch is like ding ding ding. I think maybe spin-off Snipe, but I would rather it not be a visual one. Maybe a special ever so often, but I think if David Tennant had a spin-off, it would take away from the main show. So I think maybe audiobook series, or a book series, or a comic series, or a special once a year, or something like that, you know, or he appear in every other season in the main show, or appear ever so often in Unit, or if he does have to have a special like the Unit one, like if he's going to be in the possible Unit special series, he needs to have limits set upon his character, whether it's the something to do with the TARDIS, like Shooty's TARDIS has got all like the time travel abilities or something like that, or the space travel abilities. Like there's got to be some like a limit set on his being in the show somehow, because otherwise it will take away from Shooty's Doctor from the main show, and that would not be right. That would not be fair on Shooty or whoever comes after him as well. It was interesting. Oh, I like the idea of the Matt and Karen vibes. They do need to ground him somehow. They do need to place the limits on him. The ball thing, it's growing on me. I didn't mind the actual ball like thing. I'm not 100% sure what I feel about how like the toy maker just missed it or it bounced off his hand. I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like, okay, he was doing so well for all of that. It's not that he went to leap. Like, if he'd gone to leap for it and he literally missed it by the tips of his fingers because it was off the edge of the building. Okay, I could have gone for, like, I would have liked that more, but the fact that it just, like, bounced off his fingers, it just felt like a bit of a, and almost anti-climax, but not quite. Like, more I've seen of it, the more I'm okay with it. But it just, I was like, oh, okay, that's the end of the battle. Okay, I expected more of a big climax for it. You thought something would be more interesting, yeah. Like, I think it could have been more interesting, but I was alright with it. It was fun. It kind of fitted with like, I don't know how they could have resolved it. Like, it kind of made sense because it was a game. It was kind of, it was very interesting. Like, again, it was alright. Like, it's not that I disliked it. Like, I was okay. Outsmarted would have been better. Definitely outsmarted would have been better. Like, it just, like, I was okay with the ball. It would have been better if it was like an actual 3-player game instead of just a game of catch. But I think the thing that, like, I'm not 100%, that makes me a bit like, oh, okay, it's literally just how it ended. It just felt like that ending of the game felt a bit anticlimactic. He really did look like he was having fun, Jake Asali, and thanks so much for coming in. I loved MPH as a toy maker. Like, as soon as they announced him, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna be good. And I want him back. Somehow. Obviously not too soon. Like, maybe even like the end of Shooty's 2nd season or something like that. Or maybe even the next Doctor, or Shooty's 3rd season if he gets a 3rd one. I don't want him ever so often, but I feel like he could be like an occasional master type character, whereas, like, obviously we didn't get a master for 11 at all. So it'd be nice like a recurring character. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Does someone tell me what the hell is going on here? There he is. Yeah. One nice frame I've seen is that the first game was a game of logic, the second was a game of chance. That's a nice way to think of it. It did feel a bit lacking, yeah. Like, it's not that I thought it was bad. I think it was just the ending was a bit like, oh, okay. If the ending was a bit more dramatic, like, again, like I said, him just missing it off the edge of the building or something like that. Or David sacrificing himself or something like that would have been a bit more. But I do like the theory of it being 3 different types of games. That's a good idea. I actually reacted to the trailers for it, and I thought it looks fun. I like the look of it. When the toy maker was mentioning Amy, Clara and Bill, you see the anger Matt Smith. I like that. You could see, like, his reactions, and he's still so connected to those companions. I loved his face when he saw Melanie. I had to think, because obviously I'm way off of her episodes. I keep forgetting. But I loved his face when he saw it. Like, you saw that thought process. But yeah, I liked that scene with the puppets where it's like you see him. It's still the same person because he's still emotionally connected to those people. And I love that. It was fantastic performances all round. Exactly. Like, that's why I feel like I said before you came, or at least before I think you came in, if there's the time loop theories, right? At least, or like he said they've done therapy out of order. It's like 15 is like the Doctor post therapy. He's processed everything. He's come to terms with at least some of it. He's a lot lighter, a bit more happier, and it's like he's able to, like, you can see it in his movement and stuff like that, and the fact he's completely fine with just being like underwear and socks on his bottom half, which I've got to say, I love how they split the clothing they had on. Like, David had no shoes, he only had his undershirt on, and one person in the comments said, because they split the clothing, Shooty had the underwear on, that meant David didn't. As you said, I'm also left asking for more Toymaker just because I feel like he could have explored so much more. Exactly, yeah. Obviously the Doctor's the most important part, but I want more of him. I'm so glad you can watch it. Like, obviously, like the Unearthly Child, because we talked about Timeless Child earlier. The Unearthly Child ones aren't on there because of, like, I think licensing stuff to do with, like, the writer's family or something like that. But those ones are on ITVX, and plus you can get the DVDs of those ones. But yeah, I definitely want to do more. And like, I loved seeing him dance because he just seems a bit more carefree. And I love that. Yeah, if they had actually had him regenerate, I would have loved Alonzi being his last words. I love that because it's like, I didn't want it to be, I don't want to go again. I didn't want it to be that. Because like, it's like, we've had that twice, don't torture us again. And plus, it would have just been a bit too corny if it was again. But Alonzi just felt right. And then it's like, wait, what? He's not? Are we doing a Capaldi now? Are we doing 12? Well, he's refusing because he seemed okay with it. But I think the way I feel about the bi-generation and all that sort of stuff, again, like I've said before, it's going to be influenced by whatever we got come next. So that we're going to hopefully see a bit of that theory explored, because maybe David's one might want to explore it more, or Shooty might find out more about it, or I just want to see what we've got coming next. I'm glad he didn't say I don't want to go. Yeah, exactly. You can't use him ever so often, because like they need to have him ever so often. Like, you can't use him too much, but maybe like for a certain, like a Christmas special, or like in like 2-3 seasons time, have him be at the end of a finale and then he's the villain for the next season. Although I think next season, like, he's so powerful you can't have him as a villain for the whole season, because that would just be too much. He would have to be one for a special, like a Christmas special or something like that. But I definitely want to see him again, because like, I think he's absolutely freaking awesome. I think the Master will probably come back at some point. Like, he'll come back, especially like with, you heard the laughter, like with John Sims one, and also who picked him up and stuff like that. It's going to be really interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm gonna watch Unleashed without a doubt. Yeah, the Master will come back at some point. But the Master's like a regular thing. But then again, 11 didn't have him at all. Or them at all, sorry. But like, I'm interested to see, like, it'd be good to have a season with like obviously, again, the Daleks need to be used at least once a season. But having them for one episode, maybe. But like, it'd be nice to see it without, apart from that they need. It'd be nice to have a season without like the big villains again. Like, I would like to see more Cybermen, but it'd be nice to have a season where it's like, okay, you've got to have the Daleks once. Or once a year, or whatever it is. But it'd be nice to have a full season without like the big villains, like Daleks, except for that one time, Cybermen, the Master, all those kind of things. It'd be nice to have more creatures or more things from outside the universe. Maybe each villain, each episode is going to be a different member of the Legion. And hey, Starlight, awesome to have you in. Thank you. When he was 10, because all the experience. Yeah, exactly. He feels more mature, and there's like you could see little bits of like 11, 12, and 13 in him, and I like that. There were exactly, like I personally loved the structure of Flux. they made it like a book because they had chapter 1, chapter 2, yeah, and so on and so forth. So in the middle of it, in the middle of a book, you're meant to be going, hang on a minute, what the hell is going on? You're meant to be confused, and I loved the structure of it. I loved how they did it. It was awesome. It was just so good. I loved Shooty. I think Shooty is gonna be so much fun, and he's just giving a. It's like he felt like the Doctor, but also new at the same time. Like it's not like, obviously it's not a reboot or anything like that, because obviously it's continuing on, but it just felt like a new, not breath of fresh air, but you know what I mean? It just felt exciting. And it just makes you a bit like, oh, this is going to be fun. It just gave something new, but what's also feeling classic at the same time. It's difficult to put it into words just from the bit we've seen. But it feels new, but it also feels like the Doctor. And I'm very excited for that because he seems like so much fun. It's going to be awesome seeing the Doctor just having fun. Seeing 14 return and being happy made me think because he becomes a cure. I wouldn't mind that theory. Like I love the fact there's multiple theories about it all already. But I love the idea that he becomes a curator. I love that. Because like, whether or not it's the time loop theory where 14 lives his life, processes everything, comes back to being 50. Or it could be that the curator theory where he just lives a separate regeneration path and becomes a curator. I would not mind that at all. Shooty looks amazing so far. I haven't watched Sex Education. I've not watched it. It doesn't seem like my kind of program, but I've seen little clips of him, and I was also seeing some of his interviews, and obviously I've seen little bits from him in the Barbie movie, and he seems like he's gonna be fun. Just the feeling I get from him from the clips I've seen of Sex Education and his interviews, he seems like he's just gonna be perfect, and it's like he gets it. You know, it's nice when you can tell that the actor just gets the show. You know, it's like I think that's one of the reasons I love 12 is because you know Peter Capaldi seriously loves the show, kind of like with David as well, you know, like it's nice seeing the actor being so excited about their character. And he looked like I saw the clip about the video of him talking about his new Sonic, which I think he can make that design work. I've said it before already tonight. I think he can make that design work. I'm not sure if any other regeneration can. Maybe 11, maybe 13, maybe, but he can make it work. Like, he's just no worries, Snipe. But thank you so much for coming in. It's awesome to see you. After Tom Baker said in years to come he will revisit some of the old favourites. Exactly, yeah, exactly. Foreshadowing. They got to come back to that. So maybe we don't, like, obviously it might be in the confidential or whatever thing. It might be addressed. I don't know what has been addressed in that yet. Again, I will watch it. But maybe I don't know what the effects of the bi-generation will have on him. So maybe, I don't know. He might be regenerating back. Unleashed disproves this. Okay. But like, I'm interested. Again, I can't comment on what happens in Unleashed. I can't, or what has been said on Unleashed. But if they do say something like that, I think it's a bit silly to say it, because you've got to have people theorising. You know, I don't think they should say exactly what happens. They should let people theorise about it until it happens in the show. But then again, if you have that happen too much, people will all get fixated on one certain idea. So whatever you actually do in the show, if it's not that... Actually, whatever you do in the show, like, if it's not that idea, they hate it because it's the wrong idea. But if you do that idea, they'll be like, oh, it's predictable, you know? So, like, I guess I can understand why they did say it. Because maybe it's such a big thing that it's like, we don't want people to theorise too much. Because otherwise it will just come back and bite us in the ass. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see what the toy maker is and the ones who wait. I'm like, maybe Jinx Monsoon's a member of the Legion, or is the one who waits. Maybe the one who waits is the Rani. It could be, like, we've already speculated tonight that maybe it's Susan, maybe it's Jenny, the Doctor's daughter. Maybe it's an old face gone bad or something like that because they've waited around for the Doctor. There's so many possibilities, and I'm interested to find out. That little tidbit and the tidbit of the boss has made me, like, it's like, that's one of the things I'm like, okay, I can't wait to find out. I need to watch more because I need to know what that meant. And I like those little bits in that they didn't answer. Like, especially like talking about it tonight, it's made me like, I really want to know what's going to happen. I'm very intrigued by what we could have coming next. So he's shooting in a role. Exactly. He seems like, I've only seen little clips of him. Or I saw somebody's the Blind Wave reaction to the Barbie movie, because they've got that coming up on their Patreon and website. So I'm subscribed to that. But I've only seen in those, and also other people's reactions to the Barbie movie, and I've seen some interviews with him, but that's it. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to it. But Ferdale, how you doing? What an episode. Yeah, we've been, there's so many theories about what it means, and there's this new Sonic. There's been so much talk already about what the implications of that could be. I'm so excited. There's so much possibility. Like, the Tooth, obviously, the Master. Especially with the fact they had the laughter kind of made me feel like John Sims, the Master, with like where he came back, he was laughing a lot. It'd be insane if it was, because he said like he was dying. Didn't he say something? The toy maker said something about the Master was dying. He was like dying or on his like last legs or something like that. I can't remember the exact wording. So like he wanted to play a game, and he lost the game and it got locked away. So maybe the Master that's locked away in the Tooth is John Sim, and it's literally directly after where we see him where him and Missy shoot each other. So maybe it's literally that Master has been locked in the toy maker's Tooth. I love that idea. Ooh, because that laughter gave me real John Sim energy. And with what the Master said, what the toy maker said, maybe it literally is the John Sim Master, because it would make sense to me with what was said. Again, what was said and what was that. So yeah, so like I cannot like now with what they've set up for Potato Bomb, I can understand why they're already filming his second season. Like they've probably got both seasons planned out story-wise. Like all those bits might be like planned out across these two seasons. And I'm so excited to have a big, big story. Oh god, yeah, the feels from Adric. Like, again, I'm way off watching Adric's episodes of Classic Who, because I'm still on season 2. But I know I've seen like in other reactions to like the Centenary, mentions of Adric make people emotional. So obviously, please do not tell me. Do not spoil me. I will probably forget by the time I get there, but on the off chance I don't forget, I don't want to know. Exactly, we haven't seen, like, we don't know that Missy comes after him. We don't know. I don't know about the classic ones, but at least for the Missy and John Sim, we don't know what order they're in. So, like, but then again, they can't overdo the Master, because unless they give him extra regenerations. And also, where does Sasha's one come in? That was one of my favourite things about 13's run. Sacha Dhawan as the Master is probably my favourite Master, at the modern ones at least. I haven't seen classic ones yet at all. I love Sacha Dhawan. I thought he was a phenomenal Master, personally. So, like, we don't know if Sacha Dhawan regenerates into Missy, or if Missy regenerates into him, or if Sasha regenerates into John Sim. Or no, he doesn't regenerate into John Sim, because before that we had Dr. Yana, didn't we? So, like, Sasha... Actually, I can't remember what, like, said with, like, the... I don't know where that one comes in. So that might be different, but I don't know where Sasha and Missy fall. It's a very interesting thing. So it could be very strange. Hey, that's possibility, because I know people have said about, there's a theory that one who waits could be the Valeyard. Somebody said it earlier tonight. Like, again, I don't know all the details about the Valeyard because I'm way off that classic Who stuff, but I know it's technically the Doctor, but not. I don't know exactly, so apologies, and please do not spoil me, because that sounds like a humongous thing I don't want to get spoiled for. So it is possible that it could be Matt Smith, you never know. I do think that could be him, yeah. I think it could. I do think, like, if it's not that Master, fair enough. But just the laughter and the way he said what the toy maker said when he was talking about the Master being locked in the tooth, it really makes me think that it could be John Sim. I really do think it could be, just because of that laugh. And the and it wasn't the toy maker laugh. It was different. It was more like John Sim's laugh. And because of what he said, I just think it would be okay. So maybe okay, but that's true. Actually, thinking about it, Missy seemed to have memory of John Sim. So I don't think John Sim, I think, comes before Missy, but there might be a regeneration in between. Yeah, like I think Jodie, I liked Jodie's Doctor. I thought she was great. It's just some of her stories let her down. She was fun. I thought she was great. She did the best she could with what she had. She had the right energy. I liked her Doctor. I really liked her Doctor. It's just some of the... But then, like I said earlier, every Doctor has had some clunkers. Oh, Angela Bake. Oh. Angela, thank you so much. Now my chat thing works. Now my chat thing works, and it doesn't work properly. That thing there that's got the got about Angela, that's meant to have all our chat come up. It doesn't always work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh, I can't. Damn it. I'm going to refresh it, okay? So that will disappear. Because it is a pain in the ass, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that like that because it's... Has it been since Colin Baker's trial? I'm like, oh. So it would be nice for it to, like, it be the Valeyard. I like that theory. Just, like, I like how they kept it, like, it could be multiple different things. It's got so many people talking about it already, and it's exciting. Yeah, I'm like literally, it literally clicked into my head that they literally said it. Now I forgot that for most of it. But did they specify that he came directly before Missy? Because there could be one in between. So like John Sim could be in the tooth, or I don't know. I'm pointing at my mouth because he's not in the mouth anymore. But he could be in the tooth, and then he comes out. We have one or two things with him, and then he regenerates into somebody else, and then that person can regenerate into Missy. I do think it might. If it's not a brand new, I think it most actually. No, I'm just gonna say I think it's most likely John Sim's Master in that tooth, just from what they said. Is it me, or did yesterday's finale feel like the finale to All New Who? It did kind of feel like it. Like it feels like, I wouldn't say complete finale. It's like, I know what you mean. Like it feels like a finale, but it doesn't feel like a finale in a way. It feels like we're like closing. Like it's like so far it's been like one big book in a book series. Like Classic was one book. So far Modern's been another one, and then this Shooty's starting off the next chapter, the next book in a book series, if that makes sense. So it's still the same thing, but it's also new at the same time. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm wording that the way I want to. But I think it's like, it feels like it's still going to be Doctor Who, but also a little bit refreshed, or a new story, a new journey type thing. Like a different book in a series. Like type thing. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Because to me, it feels like it's still going to be Doctor Who. It's just... It's not a reset. It's not a reboot. It's not a soft reboot. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like... Again, it feels like Doctor Who, but it's going to be something new at the same time. It's going to be really interesting. I think the Christmas special is going to be very vital with it. Yeah, that basically, yeah. Like, it's like a... You know what I mean? Like, we've got classic Who. And then we've got modern. And then, like, it's like... It's carrying on like it's... So it's like... It's all connected. But it's also... its own story. It's like a new story at the same time. But it's still got implications from the previous book. You know what I mean? Like, so you could have, like... a callback to the previous book, or a reference to the previous book. Does that make sense? So it's new, but it's also the same thing. I know what I mean. I just can't accurately. I hate when I do have this. It's like, I know what I mean, but I just can't accurately describe it exactly how I want to do it. It's just my brain scrambles it. That TC was a game that toy maker. I like that idea. I can understand why people wouldn't like it. I can understand why people wouldn't like the Timeless Child. I personally like it. I like the idea, but I'd be okay, but not to the point where I hate the idea of them retconning. Like, I'd be okay if they retcon it somehow, or maybe say, okay, after this regeneration, no more. Like, if they like somehow limit it or do something like that. But I like that theory that maybe that's the game that the Master and the toy maker were playing. But if it's that, it would have to be, if that theory is true, it would have to be a Master that comes after it would have to be after Sasha's Master, because it's basically Sasha's the one that finds out about the Timeless Child. So whoever's in the tooth would have to be after Sasha, I think, right? And John Sim shoots Missy in the labour screwdriver at full blast, which he said would prevent her from regeneration, kill her permanently. So she's the last one. So there must be others in between. That's fair enough, Jacob Sally. That's fair enough. Like, that's the thing with Doctor Who, and like also other shows as well. We said it earlier. If you don't like a theory, you can kind of ignore that, fill it in with your own headcanons and stuff like that. You can have your own thoughts in it. Don't like a certain Doctor, skip that Doctor, you know? Or like, it's like with Supernatural, where people like didn't like the ending episode, so they just, that one didn't exist. I had it ended in this way that I think. That you could literally ignore stuff, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine, as long as like we're respectful of other people's opinions. I think it's all okay. Like, I like the Timeless Child stuff, but I'm absolutely, like, I can understand why people wouldn't like it. And I'm absolutely... I don't get offended by people denying it. I know some people do. And I know that some people get offended by people liking the Timeless Child stuff. That's not me. Like, I don't mind people not liking it. I think that's absolutely valid, and I can understand why. I can absolutely understand why. That's absolutely fine. Like, I don't blame you for standing by that. That's absolutely fine. But like, I think that's, again, like, that's the thing. They did kind of retcon it, yeah. There's so many. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on reading stuff. But yeah, I just like, it just allows for a lot of thought, and you don't like a story, don't like a Doctor or season or whatever, you can skip it. Or a theory, you can kind of do that. Jigsaw from your life. Huh. That's true, he did. It's I think I know what bit you're referring to. Yeah, Potato Bob. there's so many thoughts on this. Like this is like, I think they've done, I mean, I like John Hurt with Bridge the Gap. Yeah, I like that. That made sense to me. And like, I like how they, I can understand why Chibnall did the Timeless Child stuff, because it allows it like to carry on for however many regenerations. I get that. That's why I don't mind it, personally. I don't mind it because of that. Because with like how they gave 11 a new regeneration cycle, you can't do that every time they get to the end of a regeneration cycle, because it would just feel old and used, and it wouldn't feel so special, you know? So like, if they, I can understand why Chibnall did what he did. Like, that's why I'm kind of okay with it. Your history, did you like it? That's an interesting thing to think about. This is definitely going to be an episode that it's got to be rewatched, and it's got bigger implications the more we think about it. And like I can see like the Toymaker stuff being like referenced in future episodes. Like, oh my god, oh, that's what he meant when he said that. Oh, okay, we got to pay attention to this. Established that he can only change his face 12, exactly 13 incarnations. Yeah, so once 12 was the first one of the new regeneration cycle. So we've got 12, 13, 14, 15. So we've had 4 regenerations from this new regeneration cycle already. Unless there is one in between 14 and 15, which would be so complicated. Which I kind of like the time loop idea for that one. But yeah, we've already had 4 from the regeneration cycle already. So it's like we've got 9. I had to think for a second because my head's just like, so much information, I can't count. So we've got 9 more incarnations on this regeneration cycle, which a lot being seeded. There's a lot been seeded, and it's going to be interesting to see what's going to pay off when. Like, how much are they going to draw certain things out? There's a lot of possibility with things, with what they seeded. And I like I said earlier, I feel better about stuff from the first 2 specials now we've seen the third. Because I think it benefited for me for thinking of it rather as 3 separate specials. It's more like a mini series, where like kind of like Flux, where it's like like a 3-parter of the same story, and each episode benefited from the previous. Feels like the start of a new line of Doctors. Yeah, like they could. It is very weird. Again, I haven't seen the Unleashed thing, the thing that was, I think Potato was talking about, where Russell's talking about it. But it is weird. But I can see how they could explain it away as that's a new regeneration cycle. I don't know, but again, if you've seen the Unleashed thing, do not tell me. I will watch it on my own time. I want to find it out as I watch it. But I'm interested to see how they handle the bi-generation thing. I think that's one of the things, like, I like it. I'm not saying I hate it, because I enjoyed the whole thing. Yeah, okay, the fumbling of the ball in the game was a bit weird. Kind of like felt like a bit anticlimactic, but I was okay with it. But the bi-generation thing is one of the things from the episode that is, I think for me personally, I need to see what's going to come after it, what's going to come next, and stuff like that. That I think that's going to help me decide what I think about. I've got to see what the explanation on all that is. Not watch it because RTD reasons it makes no sense and messes with the timeline way too much. Oh, well, that is very weird. Yeah, like, this Doctor Who can be very complicated, but very not simple, but simpler at the same time. It's very, very strange, but it's fun, and it's just like it can get overcomplicated for people, like my brain. It can absolutely get complicated. I feel we might need another. Maybe we can do it again next week. Maybe we could do next Sunday. There's a time. That's very true. That's very true, Ben. The Time Lord, the Time Lords granting a new cycle, they could retcon it that it's an unlimited cycle or something like that, or maybe they could retcon it that it's like an unlimited cycle, or it's got like 36, like 3 times the size of a cycle, or something like that. Sorry, my throat's starting to get tickly from talking in the heat. But they did not tell us. Exactly, yeah, like he could be anybody from his past, so like anybody who's been it could be. But I think another hangout next week would be a good thing. Like I did it with my Our Flag Means Death thing. My first Our Flag Means Death chat was like 2 days after the season 2 finale aired. So like it was like fresh feelings on it. And then I did another one to talk about the finale the next weekend, or the next month, or the next week. So like, well, we had a week to think about it. So like, we'd seen other reactions, we'd seen theories, and it's like we had our own theories formed. So it kind of like, it's kind of good to go back to it after a week to make like, okay, this is what we think about it now, because time to think about things, watching other people's opinions and reactions or whatever, can influence our own. So we might have completely different views on things next week, and I think that's a cool idea. At least doing one more. I'm thinking of doing one for the Christmas special as well, and I might start doing one for each episode of the new season when it ever happens. Apparently, Time Lords can choose. Oh, hang on, I'm rereading. If it's unlimited, then why did 11 get a new cycle or River Gub up her lifespan to say? That's true. But then again, 11 like the new cycle is at the end of 11's one, which would be River like gave up her lifespan in season 6. But it's like the new cycle was like when 11 regenerates. So it would be after that stuff. So it would be a brand new thing from there, because like we haven't seen the Time Lords. We haven't seen Gallifrey come back yet. Oh, well, actually no, we have, haven't we? Oh, shut up. I hate when my head does that. It blikes things, and then halfway through saying something, oh wait, that makes no freaking sense whatsoever. Ignore what I just said. Possible because of the Toymaker interfering. Yeah, I kind of want to watch The Unleashed, but I kind of don't at the same time. I'm kind of nervous about what he says, but I feel like because we've spoken about it, and especially if we do another one next week, I feel like I kind of have to in a way, just to see my reasons for it. That's going to be very, very interesting. Him being tortured by Tectone would also explain why he's so damaged, why he hates time. That's very true, because like 13 dropped her the big fob watch with all her previous regeneration memories or cycle memories into the TARDIS. So maybe, I think I mentioned it in a previous talk or something like that, maybe that fob watch being dropped into the TARDIS has got some kind of influence, or maybe that will come out at some point. Who knows, you know? Maybe, because we said about the Valiard being like the one who waits or something like that, maybe the Valiard is from one of those previous regeneration cycles. I don't know, because again, I don't know. I haven't seen the Valiard stuff. I just know it's technically the Doctor-ish, kind of ish. I don't know. But it's in the how many regenerations did we grant you? Very true. Very true. But yeah, I think the bi-generation is probably, it was the Toymaker interfering, because they said you did this to us, which is why they were both able to play the game. It's because the Toymaker was the one that did it. So maybe literally the bi-generation only came about just because of the Toymaker, and otherwise it cannot happen. Come on, I thought he hated Time Lords way to do things, because during his time at the Academy, not this crap Chibnall made. That's true as well. There's so many different ways to think about it, and like also like remembering things and stuff like that, it can influence stuff like that, because again, I don't know all the classic stuff, and like my memory's terrible, so I do forget things. I do forget certain things. Yeah, 12 is just a norm for Time Lords. I get so confused with so many things. My head is hurting. No, 12. Oh, again, my head is getting confused. There's so many theories from this, like thoughts from this episode. My head's like going, I don't know what to think straight. So it's because I'm thinking about so many things from this episode. My head is getting stuck on it. If that makes sense. My head can only think about a certain amount of things at a time. So like I will, like when I get like, I'm trying to recall this much and I'm thinking about this many different things, I will forget certain things. It's just why I forgot about the Time Lords and the Academy and stuff like that. I did forget about stuff like that, I will say. Because again, my head will sometimes omit stuff I know. Or stuff I've heard of and stuff like that. I was okay with them mentioning the flux because Taven's performance reacting to it. Yeah. Exactly. Like, again, I didn't mind the flux, but I'm glad we've got fallout from it. It needed this extra bit, like, of, like, the Doctor still being affected by it. It did need this, like, mentioning and stuff like that. It did need that. It's a self-preservation thing. Oh. Yeah, I've heard that, but yeah. That's a possibility. There's so many different theories for it. So many different ways it could be understood. And if they don't ever fully explain it, it's open for interpretation for the fans, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I want to watch The Unleashed. Just so if we do this again next week, I can talk about it as well. And maybe he said that, and he can always change his, because he hasn't done it in the episode, in the actual show itself. Maybe he can say whatever he says in Unleashed, and then if the fans don't like it, he can retcon his reasons behind it before he mentions it in the show, or something like that. You know, I don't know. I won't know until unless I watch the Unleashed. I think how I feel about whatever it is. My throat is getting really tickly up. Ugh. Got 2 hours already. Whew. So I need to keep drinking something. My throat. But there are so many different theories and thoughts. It's very interesting to see what we could be getting. What's coming to come next? Because I think, as I said, I think it's going to be influenced. How I feel about this is going to be influenced by whatever we got next. And again, by Unleashed, if I watch it. And again, but then again, like I said, if the backlash for whatever he says Unleashed is big enough, he can kind of retcon his own thoughts behind it. The Master told the Sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, that the Valiant is an amalgamation of the darker sides of his nature between his 12th and final incarnation. Okay. Yeah, this many possibilities can make my head go a bit bleh, can overload my brain. So I think this is going to take a while for me to sort things out. So that's interesting with the Valiant. I heard it was I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I've heard that before. That whole explanation does sound familiar. But my memory is horrendous. I've got a long way to go to the Valiant, obviously, because I'm on season 2. But it's going to be interesting. Yeah, but then again, if they haven't aired either season. If they're currently filming season 2, maybe if there is a big, humongous backlash for it, maybe he can refilm things. I don't know. 2 places at the same time. I can't see some of the comments you're reacting to. No, I'm only streaming on YouTube. I've got you. I've got Potato Bomb, Binroth the Heretic. I always get Binro the Heretic. Apologies. InVision commentaries. Ooh. And I've got Jay Casale. So maybe I'm not streaming it 2 places at once. I would love to. My laptop could not take it. I'm waiting until I get a PC to do that. Once I get a PC, I'll do the YouTube and Twitch thing. Absolutely. But I've just got a laptop at the moment. My laptop struggles sometimes with what I do at the moment, let alone doing 2. Oh, I can't wait to see what all the explanation behind all of this is going to be. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to come next. Ha! Well, I've got someone called Jay Casale on there as well, and that's the only other person in here. Here's my ranking of all the new Doctor. 1, Matt Smith. 2, Peter Capaldi. Matt Smith. They're all fantastic. I get, like, that's fair enough. But yeah, there's one other person in here for Potato Bomb. So YouTube can be a pain in the ass, can't it, sometimes? I swear. I don't know what's going on there, so apologies, Potato. It's very strange. Yeah, like, I love how there's a Doctor for everyone. With modern and supposedly classic Who. There's a Doctor for everyone. Like, I've said multiple times tonight. If you don't like a certain Doctor, you can skip it, you know? It's awesome. It's against Twitch. It's not anymore. They allow it. It's literally No, there's Jay Casale. Jay and the separate word Casale. That's another person. There's no Jake. Well, that's what I'm seeing in my stream anyway. But Twitch is allowing that now, I think. It's literally being allowed. You can literally do that. Maybe it's different for not associates, is it? I need to get back into doing it. It's been so long. Like, obviously, before I do the dual streaming thing, obviously I will look it up and make sure I know all the details and that, so that I can I'll make sure I'm prepared. But that'll be a way off because they might change it by the time I'm actually able to do it. At the moment, I won't even try, which is why I haven't read up on it properly because I know I can't do it, so I don't look it up because I just know I can't do it. So there's no point. You don't see Jay as well. Giggle me this, Doctor. Giggle me this. Well, I like these emojis. They're fun, General Grievous. Sorry, I had to look closely just to look at them. I like those. I love that. Like, I couldn't help but watch Neil shuffling those cards. He did say in his little thing, he didn't do all of them, I don't think. Because he said, like, obviously he's a magician, he could do some stuff, but some shuffling was like a bit too much for him. But I loved, you could tell which ones he did and which ones he didn't, because the ones he did, you could see him in camera. I liked it. He was possibly the best. I love him. He just fits so well. Like, he felt like classic villain and new villain as well. Like, he helped bridge, like, if this is two different eras, like we had the classic era, we've had the noughties. Oh! YouTube is a pain in the ass sometimes, it will admit that you get mistakes. Pretty much, yeah. That sounds about right for what it is. It's so confusing. Potato. But it feels like we've got 3 eras. We've got classic era, we've got the first one, like we've got this original. Well, that's alright then. That bit made me laugh. I love how he said it. Like, he felt like a classic villain, but new at the same time. And he's helped, like, bridge the gap between the 2 eras. Because I think we're going into a new era of Doctor Who. That's how I wanted to describe it. We've got 3 eras where they're all connected, but they all feel distinctly different at the same time. So modern Who has so far, it's felt like classic Who, but it's felt new at the same time. And I think that's what the new, like, Disney or Shooty era or whatever we're going to call this new era feels like. It feels like Shooty felt like modern Who, but also something different at the same time. I'm really excited to see where it's going, especially now we got a nice bit of budget behind us. Didn't you have a comment overlay with the second special hangout? I did. Because, like, did you see when somebody subscribed? Amazing. I had that little thing like come up about here. A little box come up there. That overlay is a pain in the ass. Sometimes it will, like, I think that's the second hangout. It literally, the whole thing was working. Some of my Our Flag Means Death ones, it'll work. Some of them, nothing at all. Some of them just when somebody subscribes. It's a pain in the ass. I need to go I think I got it from the new Elgato marketplace. I need to go on there and see if they've updated it. And like upload the new version maybe, because that is a pain in the ass. Because I love when it works properly, it looks freaking awesome. I love the way it looks, and it's just so we could like literally keep the whole thing. Because like I did have one that went across the bottom bar, across the bottom of the screen. I can't do it exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just YouTube and Stream Elements doing their random crap. But the one that went across the bottom of the screen, at least in my first Our Flag Means Death discussion, literally just got like, we were talking so much, it just basically, it was like 5-10 minutes behind, and then it just got stuck. So like that one just got overloaded. This one just works when it wants to. Like next week it might work. Next week it might not work. I don't know. So I've got I meant to do it last week and have a look at it, but it does my head in. I just want to know when it's going to happen. Oh, not when it's going to happen. I'm thinking of two different things there. I just want to know what's going to happen, when it's going to work. That's what I was meant to say. There we go. I'm getting jumbled with my words now. Because I've spoken so much, my head's like, I don't know. It's like now with my Our Flag Means Death ones, we're just talking about the show in general. So I don't have to focus so much. I don't have to recall so many specific things. But because tonight is mainly about Last Night's Special and also all three, and also what might be coming next, it's so much information. My head's going like, I don't know what to think. It's too much. So it's like some stuff just not coming from like there to like there, or it's just stuck back here, so it won't even go to there. And now I keep touching my glasses accidentally. It's been over 3 weeks now since I ordered my contact lenses. Like after I've got my glasses. Contact lenses, haven't heard of something thing. Once I get my contact lenses, I don't have to worry about fingerprints on them. I don't have to worry about like my light being in my freaking lenses. It's a pain in the ass when it does that. It's like I keep looking around. When I'm looking at the camera, like when I'm not like doing my introduction things and like my recaps, I look at the camera. You get this in this eye, or if I'm looking at the screen, you get this one in this eye. I can't wait for my contact lenses, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's a nightmare. I'm quite warm and hot, but obviously it's because I'm talking and stuff like that, because this is still nice and cold. So I'm just going to sit here like this, cool myself down. This is lovely and cold, but it's such a nice drink. Oh, hang on, I'm trying to find a cold spot. There we go. There we go. That actually does help. I've just realised I plugged my fan in. I never turned it on. I've got a little desktop fan. So if you hear it slight whining in the background, that's what it is. But it just circulates the air. I can't believe all this time I plugged it in. Did not work. I'm interested to find that out, Max. I'm interested, like, that we've already discussed tonight that, like, there's a theory, I don't know if it's true or not, there's a theory that it's a time loop thing where basically 14's going to live out his life, process everything, come to terms with everything he's done, stuff like that, and then it's going to time loop back so he regenerates into 15 again, and that's where 15 comes, like, splits into, which is why 15 felt all light. So he could still regenerate, and it might be that one, or it might be a completely separate cycle. I don't know. I think from what people have said, there's kind of a thing with Unleashed. The Unleashed video has been put out. I haven't watched that yet. I'm just thinking about doing that before we do next week's discussion. But I'm wondering about it or not. It's very interesting. I'm interested to see how they handle it. Like if we get more David, they've got to do it right so it doesn't take away from the show. It's going to be very interesting. I'm hoping that they've planned it all out very well and not just gone, oh, this is an interesting idea, let's do this now, and then like 2 years down the line they're like, oh shit, why did we do this? I hope they've got it planned out, and I'm hoping that's why they're already filming Shooty's second seasons, because they've got the 2 seasons planned out. But yeah, I'm really interested to see if 14 can regenerate or what's going to happen with him. It's a very exciting and kind of scary time for Doctor Who. It's like, it's exciting because it's just got us excited again. It's getting us talking about it, and like what people used to call like water cooler moments, you know, like where when people didn't have the internet, they'd meet at the water cooler at work, and that's where they discuss a program for the previous night, that kind of thing. We've got that kind of feeling again, you know. That's it. But surely 15 would have remembered splitting the TARDIS in the first place. It could have been like with in the 50th, where, you know, where like where 10 and the War Doctor went, they weren't going to remember everything. So maybe because either it's that, so everything's fuzzy for 15 at first, and then he's like, and he figures it out, and he doesn't remember everything, or maybe he literally, because he regenerates, maybe he just doesn't remember certain key things. I don't know. It's interesting. They're going to have to be... I'm very interested and excited for how they're going to explain it. But I'm also extremely nervous. I'm very nervous for it as well. It's going to be interesting. But I think what they've done with that, and all like the One Who Waits and the Boss and the Toymakers Legions and stuff like that, the way they've done them, it's got people talking about them so much that they're going to have to tune in to find out, okay, I need to know what it means. Whether I agree with it or not is a different matter, but I need to know. So I think they've done all this kind of thing to get people to actually like, oh my god, I need to watch Doctor Who. And I need to watch it then when it airs, because I don't want to wait as longer to find out what the hell this all means. I think they've done it very cleverly to get us like, okay, there were some of us that were going to watch it anyway, obviously. My throat is really getting scratchy now. So I don't know how much longer I'll be able to talk. Like, it gets like this when I'm talking a lot on these kind of streams. But yeah, I think they've done it to get us, like, to tune in again. I'm very excited to see implications, and I'm really hoping they've planned it out well. I hope Russell has. I feel like Russell would have. I feel like. Or maybe Disney is like, okay, you gotta get this right. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I'm very interested, excited, and nervous at the same time. After Doctors by generated, subtitles mentioned the lines that's coming from the... That's very... Maybe that was a mistake? I've seen that. I saw somebody put that up on Twitter. Because, like, I wanted to see other people's thoughts of it, just to, like, refresh my mind before doing this stream. And I saw that. Like, I don't know if that was a mistake. Maybe just, like, maybe somebody... That could be very confusing. Like, I hope that gets explained as that was a subtitle mistake. Because, like, that is 14. It's not like 10 came back. 'Cause he was still 14. It's very confusing. Very confusing. Last night's TARDIS split again is due to the toy maker. Yeah, because the split... The 14's prize was to banish the toy maker. Even though he didn't banish him from existence, he's still in a box bound in salt. 15's prize for winning the game was to split the TARDIS, wasn't it? So he hadn't got his prize until he split the TARDIS. Because the one that popped out, the old one, is his TARDIS because it's the one with the jukebox. So that's how he got his prize. 14 got to keep the old TARDIS. And 15 got the new-ish kind of one. I would think it's a mistake because that's a bit of a silly... Like, I can imagine whoever put the subtitles in, it's David Tennant again. You're gonna get... I can understand somebody getting confused. Because I can understand somebody that hasn't watched Doctor Who in ages, hasn't seen any of the him being 14 thing, and tuned into it and it's like, hang on a minute, why is 10 there? You know, I can understand somebody getting confused writing the subtitles. I can understand that. But maybe if enough people point it out, either we'll get an explanation or it'll be corrected, because they did it with Amazon with Good Omens. There was a lot of mistakes with that. Obviously, that probably had something to do with all the writing strikes and stuff like that. But that got corrected once it was pointed out. I am very excited and very nervous about what's coming up. I cannot wait for the Christmas special. Like, I am buzzing to get to see Shooty. He got me so excited. I am so excited to see what 15 is going to have for us. And like, I'm interested to meet Ruby, because like we didn't really get to know her too much. We didn't get to know her backstory. I want either in the future, I would love a companion from a different planet, or from like the 1500s, or somebody, or in way in the future, not from 100, like around this timeline. You know, I want like a Victorian times at the latest companion, or in the future, like Vicky in Classic Who, or something like that. You know, I want somebody from a different time period, or just a human from another planet. You know, I want something different. But I'm excited to meet Ruby and find out about her, because that trailer didn't really tell us anything about her. Although, to be honest, her clothes felt like maybe they're from like 90s at the latest. I don't know. I can't work out the era, but it's definitely not. Doesn't seem like modern clothing. So she could be like from a few decades ago. I don't know. They referred to the mallet as the Toymaker's mallet, and I was confused as to how it's the Toymaker's mallet. But I feel like there were scenes that got cut. Yeah, maybe they did get a non-human one would be fun. But like, if it was just BBC, like what it has been till now, I could understand why they wouldn't do it, because obviously they're not going to put having a non-human companion every episode would take up a lot of budget, because like prosthetics or makeup or whatever. But if they got Disney budget behind it, I would love that. I would love that. I want to see. I would love to, even if it's not a companion, I would just love to see it. I want the captain from the blue wild blue, the Blue Yonder. I keep forgetting what's called. But from the second special, you know, you just sort of look like a horse skull. I want to see that species. I have to see that species. I want to know what the hell that looks like when it's alive. Because that captain was awesome. What her sacrifice in that. But I think it would be really, I think that would be interesting. But I think now with Disney budget behind it, we could possibly get a non-human companion. Even if it's just for one season or a few episodes, I would love to see a multi-episode companion. Wild Blue Yonder, thank you. Because one, it's 20 to 12 at night here. 2, I didn't sleep the best last night. And 3, my head's being overloaded with thoughts. My head can only process so much at the same time, so it pisses me off. Because like, I knew that. I knew the name the Rani in my reaction. Could not remember it off the top of my head, and it pissed me off. Between these two doctors that didn't a lot to do, which do you think can come back? Paul McGann or Chris? Honestly, I wouldn't mind either, but I would like McGann. Because like, yeah, although McGann has had his audiobooks, which are now canon, because he mentioned like all his companions from the audiobooks in his little like short. But I think McGann would benefit from having we could get a war. Ooh. Maybe, obviously, it would only have to be early days of the war, because obviously John Hurt passing. Unless they get somebody who looks like John Hurt to play a recasted War Doctor. But it would be cool to have Paul McGann have his own, like, at least mini-series, an event series or something, you know? So we could see that era of the Doctor's, like, history that we've not seen before, except for, like, we saw the movie, but that was it. I haven't seen the movie. I'm going to watch the movie whenever I get through Classic Who, as like a bookend to that. But I think it would be. I like him, and I love. Oh my god, I was so happy for him to see him in the centenary. I would like that was like I loved seeing the other Doctors in that moment. Obviously, Sylvester McCoy is my first ever Doctor. My earliest memory of any kind is Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred. Literally before any family memories, I can remember 7 and 8. They're literally my earliest memories of any kind. So like I was happy to see him, but I was happy for Paul, because he got to be in the show at like obviously he had the minisode. It was awesome to see him actually in the actual show. I think he'd be great. I would love for him to get like maybe not a full, maybe it would actually, I could see that working as a spin-off, because if they had this like a actual like one of the spin-offs, and it's only set maybe for like 2 or 3 seasons, and it's only set in that era, We know it's going to be wartime Doctor, or like when the war starts, or something like that. So maybe it's a bit grittier or something like that. That could work as a spin-off, because that would limit it, so it wouldn't like obviously it would maybe influence something in the main show, but it wouldn't fully impact it and take away from it, because it would not be something that would have happened for 15 in the future or something like that. So I would like that, actually. I like the idea of it being like either one like series, like mini series or something like that, or a 3 season at most, like special series, so it covers that era of Doctor Who, of the history. I think that would be really cool, because they could do it slightly different style. Like Tortured was obviously a different style. Sarah Jane was a bit more child friendly. This one could be a bit grittier. Unit could be more like a cop show, or not full on cop show, but you know what I mean, like that procedural investigation, that kind of thing. And McGann could get like a wartime, early war, beginning of that era, like the Great Time War. I would like seeing that. I'm glad I thought of that. I would love to see that as one of the spin-offs. I think that would be an excellent idea. Think about it all of Series 1. I felt like a character art for Chris Eccleston from being a water... Becoming happy again, thanks to Rose. They did feel like a nice character art, looking back at it now. Obviously, I'm so glad Christopher's getting his audiobooks. And I love that we're getting that filled in, like what we've seen between, like that what we know it as the War Doctor and the beginning of Modern Who. I like that we're getting that in audiobook form, or anything in the midst of his season. I would like to see it, but he had his one season. I would rather see Eccleston get like his own like special event series. I would love it. I can understand Christopher not coming back to TV. He's got his audiobooks that he can do. And I like the fact we're getting him in that way. Like, he's kind of done a reverse of Eccleston. Like, he went from TV, went away for ages, understandable, and he's come back to audiobooks. Eccleston obviously had his movie, but then he went to audiobooks. I think he should go to TV. He should get his own spin-off. Early days of the Time War, beginning of the Time War. I think it would be freaking brilliant. Like obviously main series, unit series, possible Torchwood, maybe a kid-like one, but actually no, we don't need that because Sarah Jane Adventures. And then have like a I wouldn't say obviously darker, because Torchwood is like a more adult one, but like something a bit more grittier in tone, because it would for Eccleston. My head is stumbling. I'm sorry. For McGann, I think it'd be really cool having McGann having that spin-off. Like, again, limited to like 2-3 seasons at most, because obviously you can't. It depends on how they structure it. They could like stretch out, or they could have like certain things. It would depend on how they structure it, for how long they could take it. But it would literally just be McGann, and maybe if they do it like a 2-3 seasons as Paul McGann's Doctor, and then have somebody play a John Hurt's Doctor instead, because obviously we had the special, and like they could like work that little like short into the end of McGann's one, and then take it into like somebody playing John Hurt's War Doctor, and then end with how we see him in Modern Who. I like that idea. I really like that. He is a fantastic Doctor. Water dispenser. Hey, it's you know what I mean though. That was the. So my nose is fucking running again. Sorry, it's because it's warm and I'm talking too much. Yeah, I think doing another one next week where we've all had a week to process it, possibly, or watch Unleashed stuff as well. I think that's a good idea, because like sometimes thoughts can change over the space of a week, because my thoughts about the Flag Means Death finale changed a bit as well. So I think doing at least another one, and then doing one for the Christmas special would be a good idea, and then possibly doing it for the new season whenever that happens. I think that's a fun idea. But yeah, you go have a nice sleep. Go have a nice sleep. I probably will wrap it up myself because it's 10 to 12. could probably tell by the end, like towards, like partway through the stream, my eyes start going like this because it's just like I get tired so easily. My brain works hard and my body's working hard because of my hypermobility. So I'm exhausted. God knows when my daughter's gonna. I think we might wrap up actually because I think this is a nice. I've said I'm gonna keep saying it. I love the I hadn't thought of it till now. I want McGann to get his own spin-off for that era of Doctor Who. I like Time War start, and I think that would be amazing. I think that would be absolutely amazing. But we can talk about this next week if I remember. But it's all like 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's all. Hey, this has been amazing. You guys, like, so many people come in. For me, this is a lot of people. I love it. This is so much fun because I don't have people in person that I can do this with and theorize in person. Like, my other half likes Doctor Who, but he hasn't seen it for multiple seasons, you know? So, plus, it's just, he's working all the time, so I don't have this kind of people, this kind of thing to talk about, so it's awesome. And I really like the idea of doing it again next week and then doing the Christmas special and then doing it for the next season. I really like that idea. It's a lot of fun. This has been awesome, and I like how we've got multiple different viewpoints on things that have happened, like with Flux and the specials and Timeless Child. We've got so many different viewpoints tonight, but we've all been nice and respectful of varying opinions, and I love that because that's my thing. Like, I love hearing different opinions. Like, I could, like, there might be things that I don't understand how people can like it, but it's like, fair enough. I don't have to understand. If somebody likes it, fair play. You know? I love that, and I love that's what it's been like tonight. Like, I saying, like, I like Timeless Child stuff. Jake Casale didn't like it, and that's good. I can understand why. I love tonight. It's been freaking awesome, and I just love hearing and discussing different opinions and stuff like that. It's so much fun, and I've really enjoyed doing these hangouts for this. It's been fun, and it's helped. Discussing it like this has helped my thought process. It's also like I could have imagined, like, if we hadn't done these, my head, I wouldn't have been able to edit today at all because my head, or like, I wouldn't have been able to do things tomorrow, shall I say, at least, because my head would have been so jumbled with all my thoughts from this episode. But this has kind of like helped get that out of my head, so it's kind of helpful in a way, and I like it, and it's been so much fun, especially having so many of you guys come in. It's been such a fun night, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. I really, 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 really am, and it's been awesome, guys. Thank you so much, everybody who's come in, and if you're watching this again in the future, thank you so much. If you're watching in the future, please feel free to subscribe, because we will be watching and reacting to the Christmas special and all of the next season. And whatever Doctor Who comes in the future, absolutely. Doctor Who will, like, I've got a main thing from my channel is watching like stuff that's underappreciated, off air, or like 1-2 seasons at most, like that. So like, obviously there's exceptions, like Doctor Who's appreciated, but I still feel like it's underappreciated in a way. And also like What We Do in the Shadows is still on air, but then I've got like Blake 7 and stuff like that as well. But yeah, thank you so much, General Grievous. I love saying that, just saying thank you, General Grievous. That's also it. That makes me smile. I love it. I love seeing different people's different usernames. But yeah, I'm terrible at ending my streams. I hate it. It makes me anxious, but we're going to do it. But I've really enjoyed tonight. We will be most likely doing another one next Sunday, just to see how people's opinions might have changed. And I will absolutely 100% be reacting to the Christmas special. I am so this is the most excited I've been for Doctor Who in a long time. I'm very excited, and I'm excited to hear everybody's different opinions over the week, watch different reactions, and then also the Christmas special. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you again, quite probably, next week. Bye.